Hey guys, Twilight Gap 2010 back with a new deck build. I know in the last episode I definitely said I was going to post random Light Sworn and Prophet related builds, but instead I decided to show you guys something really crazy that I made that, believe it or not, actually works. I've been asking people around my area, I've been asking them if they think that vampires and artifacts could actually combine together to work. Most people said no, and a few people actually said yes. So I figured, you know what? I figured I'd build it, and I'd personally test it to see if it works. And it actually does, and it's actually really stupid on how it works. Let me tell you guys what I have here for the build. Monster-wise, I have one Plague Spreader, because as you can see, I only run 3 Synchros. Revived King Hades, Ancient Pixie Dragon, not Ancient Fairy, and a Black Rose. I run 3 Vampire Sorcerers, so that way it helps me thin out the deck, and I can search for both the Field Spell and Shadow and Duke whenever I need them. 2 Straw Drawings, because, you know, they're counted as level 5 whenever I need to use them for exceeding for level 5s, and plus I get a free draw one. 3 Mizukis, because, actually, yeah, 3 Mizukis in the main, because I like being able to bring all these back, because they will need to be brought back. 2 Aegis. I think I originally planned on running her at 3, but after testing it, 2 was actually better because 3 actually clogs up the hand. 2 Beagle Tatch, because you will need 2 Beagle Tatch for this, I'm not gonna lie. 2 Achilles. I also did try him at 3. I brought him down to 2. 3 Dukes and 1 Shadow, because they will pretty much be like your main ways to screw over your opponent to an extent. And it makes exceeding a lot easier. 2 Moral Attaches, because, you know, he's one of the main hearts for artifacts, so why not. 1 Scythe. I also tried testing him at 2, but I brought him down to 1 because A, he just kept clogging my hand. And 2, 1 is really all you need when it comes to artifact related builds, to be honest. And 1 BLS, because, you know, I have enough lights and I have enough dark, so why not a BLS? For the spells and traps, I have 3 of the Vampire Field Spell. The reason why is because the artifacts are a little bit more of the defensive side of the deck, and the vampires are more of the offensive side of the deck. And plus, if I need to, I can send one of my own vampires from the net to the grave to blow up one of my own artifacts in the back row if need be. 3 artifact ignition / movements, because for me to be able to get the deck to run, I need to be able to get my artifacts set in the back row or blow them up myself if I need to. 2 lances, because that is the only way vampires can do some of their effects, especially Duke, and it's the really other way that everything else in the main deck can really be able to swing over things. 2 MSTs, for obvious reasons. 2 Pot of Dualities. I did try it at 3. I actually brought it down to 2, so A, I can make more room for things, and B, I'm running the Dualities just for the sake of adding more things to my hand. Because sometimes, if you lose your hand advantage, this deck just falls apart. That's why I have to run Dualities. 1 Dark Hole, obvious reasons. For the side deck, very interesting side deck, I run 2 Vampire Vamps and even a Redox. Because when I built my original vampires, I actually ran 3 Mizukis and 3 Pyramid Turtles, which was definitely more than enough targets for me to actually run Redox. And plus, Vampire Vamp is also a level 7 monster, so if I want to exceed for Big Eye or Draco Psych or anything, I have the option to be able to do it. And plus, Vampire Vamp in herself is also a very, very amazing card, especially at the pre-release. If you pretty much got her out, you pretty much had that game. I run 1 Labrys, a 3rd Moral Touch, and 1 Caduceus? Caduceus, I think that's how you say his name. In the side deck, Caduceus is pretty much the draw engine. Some pure artifact builds, if anyone actually run them, would actually run him at 2. I actually prefer him even in pure artifacts. I would actually prefer him at 1. Because, mostly just because you can only control 1 of him on the field at a time. 3 more, a 3rd more attached just in case if I need to blow up more things, depending on what my opponent's running. And Labrys, because whenever an artifact is blown up, except during battle, I can special her from the hand. 1 Bram, or my 3rd Bram, is actually in the side deck, which I will explain why in a second. 2 Book of Lives, and 3 Zombie Worlds. this is one of the main things that makes this deck really stupid. Because artifacts can actually main deck Zombie World and still run like it's nothing. With that plus the Book of Lives, it makes it so where I can even special my artifacts off Book of Lives. And it also makes Bram even easier to make, because he specifically requires 2 level 5 zombies. They don't have to be dark or light, just any 2 level 5 zombies. So with Zombie World, I could pretty much turn all of my artifacts into zombies and then make Bram just like that. And then one random call to Haunted just in case if I need to special anything back. Also, I totally forgot to cover my traps. So let me get back to this really quick. I have one call to Haunted over here, the second one's inside. One Vampire Shift / Vampire Takeover. In case if I ever need to activate my field spell directly from my deck, and now in the format where we can be able to run 2 field spells, which starts officially next week, it would be a lot more essential for me to have it. 2 artifact sanctums, because being able to special an artifact directly from the deck for me to be able to get the combos off does help the deck run faster. And plus, if I need to, I could just set up like any of the shields to make a defensive wall if I really need it. For the extra deck, 1 Black Rose, 1 Ancient Pixie, and 1 Revive King Hades. I only really run 3 synchros because I am only running 1 tuner. And plus, Revive King Hades just makes the deck like even stupider, because he says, negate the effects of monsters destroyed by battle with any zombie. So if I just so happen to have Zombie World on the field, where even the artifacts become zombies, pretty much any of my monsters that I swing into, their effects don't activate, which makes it really stupid. Ancient Pixie Dragon, because she pretty much says once per turn I can target a face-up attack this monster and destroy it. There's really good coverage against things, and Black Rose for obvious reasons. Style going all the way over here. Shark Fortress, for any rank 5 exceeding deck, he's pretty much one of the main exceeds you run, because he can make even himself or any other monster on the field be able to attack twice during the battle phase. 2 Durandals. 2 is actually better considered for this deck instead of 3 because of the other things you also need to make room for. Like the 2 Brams, because he's pretty much a monster reborn for the opponent's extra deck, and whenever he's destroyed and sent to the grave, you can always bring him back. Even though his defense is 0, that really can make a difference on literally winning or losing a game. And when I show the example video of how this deck runs, you'll see why. 1 Volcanosaurus, because, well, he's just that good. If you're not running a rank 5 Exceed deck without at least Volcanosaurus, Tyrus, or Adrius, or even at least a Gaia Charger, then you're having some problems. 1 Pallades, which I wish I actually owned a Pallades in real life because this guy's really good. If you actually wanted to, if you're trying to build something similar to this, you could try also running an M7 in the extra deck. But the only thing about that is that M7 is actually kind of expensive right now. The last time I checked, it was like $20-30 each. So that's the only reason why I'm not running an M7, because I personally just can't afford it. 1 Tyrus and 1 Adrius, because if you actually double check on Vampire Shadow, he can only be used for the Exceed summon of a dark monster, so you will need a pretty decent amount of dark Exceeds for this deck to run. Tyrus, because Tyrus is just really good in general. 1 Zenmayo, unfortunately he's also expensive, which is the reason why I personally don't own him, but he's not really good if you're going up against like another artifact deck, but for anything else I might set 4 to 5 back row, like anti-meta or sometimes spellbooks decks that happen to run a lot of traps. It's really good. 2 Gaia Chargers, because of all these rank 5s I have, why not run 2 Gaia Chargers? And plus with Bram, whenever he's destroying a special, if he specials back to the field, you can just immediately make a Gaia Charger with him. So why not run it? Well, here's pretty much this deck. Now I'm going to show you guys this really crazy playthrough that I did against Blue Eyes Rulers. I will admit, unfortunately the last turn of that duel did not load up for some reason. But whenever it gets there, I'll pretty much tell you what happened on the last turn. Anyway, here's the playthrough. Okay, yeah, here's pretty much where the error came up, unfortunately. But, what I actually did is use both, Beagle Tetch and Moral Tetch to make a Volcanosaurus and attributed his blue eyes and killed him for game. I don't know why it didn't come up. It might have been because this duel was originally done on my phone, and I pretty much transferred it straight to my laptop, which might be why that last play just didn't happen. But either way, that's pretty much how the deck runs. It pretty much runs very defensively, but it actually can be offensive whenever I need it to be. Whenever I have, obviously when I have the right plays and my card set up right. Either way, that's pretty much the build. As you can see, it actually does work pretty well. It actually even gave a GB deck that my friend plays. It actually gave him a lot of trouble trying to get through this deck. So that just gives you an idea of what the deck does, and I'm out.